Hey guys, I wanted to do another quick video showing you how to glaze trinkets. Now I did some videos on some of these showing how I painted them, and this one I wanted to show you. It was like this to begin with, which is fine, but I wanted to color it. So what I did was I used this spray on it first, and you can get this at Michael's. It's about $10 a can. Of course you can use a coupon on it if you've got one. So I sprayed it first and tried to get inside a little bit and just kept it. It dries very quickly, and that paint, again, I'll show you. I use that on my mum flowers too. It is awesome. You can use it on any kind of crafts. It's really great. Okay, so I used it on that and the bell, and then after the black dried, I just painted some different polka dots in yellow and blue. Okay, and that's the same paint I used on all these trinkets. So now I want to glaze them, and here's the finish on these if you watch this video. And on this one you can tell I went inside with the yellow just a little bit, just to highlight it a little bit more. So this is the glaze, and I got this one at Hobby Lobby. There's the price. And I've had this for a really long time. It's starting to get a little too thick. I'm gonna have to buy a new one pretty soon. But here's what it looks like. And it will dry clear, and it'll just protect whatever you paint. These are really good for bottle caps, for hair bows and such. So as you can see, it's a little too thick. It's not really supposed to be this thick, so it'll still work, but it's just not as good as it should be. Okay, so after I put that on there, I want to add a little bling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this little gold one if I can pick it up. Okay, so I'm just going to put it over there and on top of the wet glaze, and just in the center, and I can just kind of tap that in there like so. You can see that. And when that glaze dries, that will dry inside there, and it'll work like glue, so it'll stay in there. I have blue ones too, but I really wanted the gold to stand out, and I wanted to bling up this trinket just a little bit. So this was an easy way to do that. So I'm just putting that on there really thick, and like I said, it should spread easier than that, and that's how I know this is getting old, so I need to replace it. Put that in there like that, and again tap it in there so it gets in the glaze. You don't have to cover it with the glaze. It probably won't be as sparkly if you did that, but just make sure that it's on the glaze. That way when it dries, it will adhere to it. Okay, and then these, I painted with the craft paint, so I want to glaze over them real quick so they don't chip or anything. So I'm just going to do a quick. And you won't really be able to tell this is on here. It'll just kind of make it shiny, but it will protect it. And if you wanted to use glitter, I don't have any gold glitter. I would use glitter right now, but after I glaze that, I could just sprinkle a little glitter on top of there, and then the glitter would stick to the glaze, and it would still be sparkly. And this one, again, I just want to brush a thin layer over it just to protect it. And this will need to dry overnight. And then on my bell, I'm going to do a little bit on it too. The black, if I had just used this, I wouldn't put glaze over it because it doesn't really chip off. I've not had any problems, but since I've used craft paint on it too, I want to use a little glaze just to make sure that craft paint stays where it's supposed to. Brush that, like I said, a nice thin little layer over it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll dry pretty smooth. If you get it too thin, you will be able to see the brush strokes, but you could just go over another layer of it and then you won't have any problems. So I'm just brushing that on there. Like that. And then it'll dry smooth and